How's it going, folks, and welcome back. Today is episode number 38 of Park to Prem with FC United. It's the start of a new season. We're in League One. I'm going to be honest, I don't know how to feel about this season. Happy Monday, folks. I hope you're doing well. If you're excited for a new season, I don't really say this enough as a professional YouTuber. Do like the video. That does actually help out the algorithm and magic and stuff. So, algorithm ultras assemble. Let's see if we can get to 2,000 likes. But that would be good to do. That would give me some motivation because I'll be honest, I don't want to say I'm lacking motivation, but I'm certainly not as excited for the new season as I was last year. And that's not because I'm not in love with the save game. It's simply because it's been tricky, it's been tough, and to be honest, I've really not been able to upgrade the team in the ways that I would have liked to have upgraded it. I was looking at Premier League players, I was looking at players playing in the Championship, and no one really wanted to join us. You can see here, pre-season prediction, 21st. Now that is 4th from bottom. That is a relegation spot in this league. Of course, 4 teams go down in League One, and well, if we just take a quick look at the finances, the good news is we are in the black. The bad news is that that's because I've sold players and not really spent as much money. So let's talk about our transfer business. Now, we started doing stuff very early on in the summer, so much so that it actually shows up in last season's column. But you can see here, Christian Nguesson left to go to Notts County for £20,000. He was a squad player, really hadn't played in the team last year. Elsewhere, Marcus Muir, similar player, squad player back when we were in the National League, kind of just stuck around last year by virtue of the fact he was here, cashed in a little bit on him. The other 2 sales make up as a bit of a surprise. 2 players formerly of Manchester City. The first is Liam Donaldson, who of course was a good centre-back for us in the National League. Last year when we called upon him, he did fine, but he wasn't really improving, the 20-year-old, and so I decided to cash in on him whilst we could. £96,000 is not an insignificant sum of money, really, and the other player that we sold for some really, really good money is Miguel Martinez. Yeah, the Venezuelan international won't be going on international duty during our games anymore because he's gone back to Venezuela. He's played 11 games for them already. We sold him for £220,000. When you consider we picked him up on a free, when you consider the financial predicament that we're in, it was just too much money to turn down, really. Now, there has been a couple of other departures since we've ticked over into the new season. The most notable, Frankie Terry has left the building. He has gone to Exeter, brought in as a squad player last year. Didn't even play as a squad player last year. So we got a little bit of money for him. And elsewhere, you can see here, Tamelo Makiahati, I could never say his name correctly, and people told me how to say it in every comment section. I'm sorry, Tamelo. Look, he's gone to play in Ireland. He left at the end of his contract. I'm a little bit sad, but he's just not good enough for us. So the first of our new signings for the year isn't here this year. That's because he's not got a work permit, but he is going to be in the squad of Fortuna Düsseldorf, playing in the Bundesliga 2, and that is Amadou Ba, a Guinean international, 18 years old, either-footed, can play at right and left back. I've made what may prove to be a controversial decision this year to invest a little bit of transfer funds I had in some players for the future, players that don't have work permits right now, but if I can sell one of them for £1 million at some point in the next few years, it would solve the financial issues that we're currently undergoing. So it's a bit like a bet or a punt. Amadou Ba is one of the punts. We signed this guy for £11,000 from Haifa FC. He looks very good. He's playing in the Bundesliga too. If he got a work permit, he'd probably be in the first team, but this is post-Brexit Britain. Elsewhere on the ins, a player who I'm very excited about is Lewis O'Donnell, a player who started his career, I believe, at Dundee United. As you can see, he then moved to Celtic in this save game, made 1 league appearance for us, or for them rather. Now he joins us. He is 24 years old, really, really talented centre mid, amazing ability going forward. Looking at him as a centre mid on attack, you can see here, great first touch, great passing, his work rate is great, his stamina solid, well-rounded player. For a free transfer, just a bit of a no-brainer. And in fact, he was one of a number of players I've brought in who I'm hoping are going to enter the first team, add a little bit of quality. And another player who is one such individual is Lewis Shipley, 25 years old. We picked him up on a free after he was released by Accrington Stanley. The last 3 seasons in a row, he's been playing in League One. So he's a player who knows what's required of him at this level. He can play left back, he can play centre back. You can see here he's a very, very good defender for this level, so great to snap him up on a free. Elsewhere, another player who I think you'll all be familiar with, Fuad Sul. I say you'll all be familiar with. If you watched the LAN series on our channel a few years ago, you might remember this guy. He is a titanic centre mid, the kind of player who's hopefully going to win the ball a lot for us. I say titanic because he's just a ball-winning terrier. That's kind of slightly ironic. He's like the non-league Kante, low centre of balance. He's not the biggest guy, but he can tackle, he can chase, he can work. I think he's going to be a really good ball-winning midfielder for us. We picked him up for £2,000, a bargain, but not quite as much of a bargain as the next signing. Ladies and gentlemen, he's back. Oakley Cannonnaire. He only left us last year. We sold him last season for £130,000 for Wimbledon. They offered him a one-year deal. I'm not going to ask questions as to why they gave him a one-year deal and then didn't extend it. And I'm not going to ask questions because we've snapped him up on a free. He's back in the team. He's proven himself at League One level. A good little squad player, a player who did blow hot and cold during his time at the club. There's depth in the attacking area at the level that we're playing at. He's quality. Other players who have joined us to add a little bit of depth include Ryan Whiteley. This guy was playing for York City. He's been playing for York City for an extended period of time. You can see he climbed up through the Football League with them. However, he was available on a free. He joins as our third choice goalkeeper. Very solid, very tall, and he can catch a ball, which I feel like is the benchmark we go for with our goalkeepers, since that's something that Harker couldn't do before. Two more players to talk about. One, an emergency backup, Jacob Bedeau. He's an emergency backup. He's not sexy. He's not amazing. He's a fifth choice centre back who can play left back as well. That is the extent of his talents. Look, he's here to make up the numbers. And last but not least, maybe one for the future, we have here Johan Porteidsson. I'm assuming that's a P at the start of it. The Icelandic language has its own letters and they scare me. Either way, 18 years old. We signed him from Newcastle, which of course is where Stephen Gold came from. And I think he's a good little centre-back with a bit of potential. Might find himself in the first team if we had an injury crisis. But for now, want to stick away in the under-18s and see how he develops. Now, you might remember I talked about players that I've signed as punts for the future that hopefully we can make money off. They're not joining for a while. Let's talk about them. Now, of course, a few of these players we've already agreed to sign. They were youngsters who were available in Africa for the most part, players who generated as free agents, players like Hamza Ali. He joins us next summer. Kabu as well doesn't join us for a little while, a Tunisian player. One of a few Tunisian players, including players like Gerard. These were all punts that were free transfers. Another one was Saliu Mendy, who, to be honest, looks absolutely mad. We agreed to sign this guy when he was 15. He's developing really nicely. He's probably not going to get a work permit when he joins us in 18 months' time. But, I mean, for a team in League One, he would actually do a job. I'm a bit sad. Can we get him to join now or something? I mean, we can't. He joins us on January 1st, 2031. So when it's New Year's Eve in 2030, everyone else is going to be counting down the new year. I'm going to be counting down to his plane landing. Yeah, he's absolutely mad. But anyway, I've got a little bit distracted going through the players that we've already talked about because there's two more here, Patrice Largo and Samuel Com. Now, these guys are joining us for a combined £220,000. Yeah, it's a punt. It's a risk. I'll let you guys decide if you would do this. Samuel Com, let's talk about the cheaper of the two players first. 17 years old, Cameroonian under-21 international. Great determination. He's got teamwork, work rate, technique. The man can jump and is a giant. He's 17 years old. I want to believe he could be the next Yaya Toure style player. That's what I'm imagining. A gangly box-to-box midfielder. He will join us, as you can see here, on the 9th of the 1st, 2030. So not too long to wait for him. I think for £40,000, he's amazing. We just need him to develop and get a work permit. The other player that I've not signed yet, but, well, I have signed, he doesn't sign for us yet. He's not going to join for 2 years, actually, is Patrice Largo. Now, if you've never been to ASEC in Ivory Coast, you've probably not played Football Manager very long. I encourage you now, if you've got Football Manager open, go to ASEC, this team, see if they've got any regens. If they have, they usually have one or two good ones. Patrice Largo is 16 years old. I think he's a centre mid and he hasn't realised it yet. He's got great vision, great technical ability. His physicals in terms of his agility and balance are there, but he is lacking a little bit of kind of a spring in his step, I suppose, when it comes to his pace and jumping reach. But at 16 years old, consistent performer, I think he's very, very good. Good potential as well. A B scouting rating. I have spent £180,000 on him and he doesn't join for 2 years. And he plays right midfield, which I don't have well, I don't play with a right midfielder, but I think he's worth the long-term investment. As I said, have I lost my mind? I think this is sensible. We'll have to wait and see, of course, if these transfers are actually good ideas or not. A lot of it depends, I suppose, on can the players get work permits or is there the option to sell them on? Of course, in the instance of a player like Ba, we've been able to loan him out to the Bundesliga too, which I feel like bodes well for his long-term resellability. We signed him for £11,000. He's on loan in Germany's second tier. He's getting minutes. And, well, he's valued between £3,000 and £500,000. If we were to sell him for the kind of upper end there of £500,000, that is a ridiculous amount of profit in a very short window for a team at our level that I can then reinvest in players who can hopefully play for us. I feel like this is one of the few ways that actually I can balance the books here at FC United. Yeah, we'll see if it works out long-term as a strategy. Now, I appreciate, as I went through those new signings, you were probably trying to piece together in your head, how are these going to improve the first team? How are they going to change the first team? And the reality is, they don't really change the first team. We dominated League 2 so comfortably that I didn't feel like massive overhaul was really needed to establish ourselves at League 1 level. And on top of that, with the financial restrictions that we're under, with the lack of money, with the squad size, which was quite a big squad, I just felt like a few little additions here and there was the way to go rather than a big overhaul. So, with that all said, this is the team for the season. Right back and left back haven't changed. Thomas Sang, I did look to sell on. No one is willing to bid anywhere near these financial kind of evaluations that are being given. I feel like the financial ranges in Football Manager that were added in this year are amazing as an idea. They also kind of make you think players are worth way more than they are. Thomas Sang's a good example of that. But because there wasn't really good wing-backs on the market, I've just decided to stick with Booty and Sang. I didn't really want to sign a really marginal upgrade for the sake of it when I've got these two guys who I know are capable of doing it within this system. They proved it last year. I kind of would rather trust the quantity I know. And it's a similar story at centre-back as well. We've got Taylor and we've got Quansah, two players who are labelled as League 1 quality players. Of course, as well, with Shipley coming in, he's the kind of player who longer term could end up displacing Taylor from the first team. That is definitely, well, I mean, when you look at them here, you could argue that maybe Lewis Shipley should play the first game of the year. But as I said, I'd rather stick with players that know the system and kind of have chemistry rather than these marginal gains. As we go through the season, I'm sure the first team picture will become that little more clear. Moving up into the midfield, this is where the new signings really come in. We needed a bit more grit and a bit more quality in the centre of the midfield. So with players like Miguel Martinez leaving, players like Fuad Sul can obviously come into the team. At 32 years old, not got a massive future ahead of him, but as a ball-winning midfielder, or as we're going to play him this year actually, as a centre midfielder on defend, I think he's going to be a really, really good player for us. You might have noticed here that I've switched up the roles a little bit. I feel like ball-winning midfielders just don't get very good ratings in Football Manager this year, so I'm curious to see how a centre mid on defend might fare just as an alternative. Of course, to Sul's left, we've also got O'Donnell, who comes into the team. He's a Mazzala on attack, really ticks a lot of the boxes for this role, excited to see what he can do. And then alongside and further up the field, it's all players that we know quite well. We've got Butterworth playing at centre mid on attack. He is a player who I think will fall slightly out the first team this year, potentially as the season goes on. But ultimately, he's a highly influential individual with great leadership, great determination. These kind of players are hard to come by, especially when you're climbing up through the leagues and replacing players very quickly. Butterworth is someone who, if a player starts crying about a new contract or playing time, I'll just sit them in a room with Ross and let him deal with it. And most of the time, he's able to cheer them up. So for that reason, and the fact that he does have genuine quality, he is going to stick around in the first team to start the season. A centre attacking mid, maybe a bold call this one. Riches is dropping down for Joe Duffy. If we just compare the two players here, you can see them side by side. Riches last year, I really gave a lot of first team opportunities to. And to be honest, he didn't really develop last year all that much as a player. At 20 years old, I was hoping we'd see some pretty markable improvements from him over the last 2 years. That's not really happened. It leads me to believe that maybe his potential isn't that much higher than his current ability. So with that said, Joe Duffy's proven himself. They're both very, very good players. To start the year, we're going to go with Duffy at centre attacking mid. And then up top, fret not, Stephen Gold fan club. He's still up front. He's going to start with Nesbitt for the year. We're going to see how they do together. Nesbitt is considered our key player at the club, our best player. And in Stephen Gold, I just feel like we've got someone who's reliable and that I trust. So, yeah, the team to start the year isn't that different to the team that got us promoted from League 2. When we move on to the bench, we've got players like Sam Bird, Shipley, who's joined us. Eccles, of course, was a regular first-team player last year. He can play centre mid. He can play right back. Really useful player to have as a squad option on the bench. We also have players like Jordan Fraser, who can come in and play kind of the centre mid on attack, potentially the Mazzala role. Riches, Cannonnaire, and Maitland make up the rest of the bench. So, not a big overhaul. I'll be honest, I kind of wish there was players out there that I could realistically attract to drastically improve the team. And whilst I probably could have spent beyond our means, thrown unreasonable wages at some minor upgrades, I'd rather take things at our own pace. We don't have to get promoted this year. I'd love to be in the hunt for the playoffs this year, and I think we probably should be. But ultimately, I didn't really want to rush things. I feel like with a save game like this, there's this temptation just to try and get as many promotions in a row as possible. Sometimes it's nice just to leave your squad, breathe, and enjoy it, and not change it that much. And that is what we're going for this year. We're going to see how it goes today, because our opposition for today, you might have seen it, it's Charlton. They are predicted to win the league. They weren't promoted last year. They lost in the playoffs. They're very, very good. Just to give you an idea of their quality, here is Ryan Nyambe. He is a Namibian right back. He's very, very good. I think he started his career at Blackburn. If I just compare him to... Should we compare him to Dylan Crow? No, let's compare him to Sang. Sang is our starting right back. This is kind of the difference between the teams at the top of League One and us. Yeah, ultimately, there's some teams in this division relegated from the Championship who are way better than us. This game's going to be tough. This season's going to be tough. Let's get into it. Now, we already talked about the team for today's game. Of course, keep an eye on O'Donnell and also Sewell. They're the two new chaps in the team. The rest of the squad, we know. And whilst we've caused upset against League One opposition in the FA Cup the last couple of years, I do feel like it's slightly different when you're actually playing them in the league. If we could get a win here at home against Charlton, I think that shows that maybe the media are underestimating us by predicting us to be in the relegation zone. I feel like with our current team, playoffs is attainable if we go on a good run, but mid-table kind of security is all that I'm really after and all that I'm expecting. Of course, players like Booty, who's whipping the ball in for Nesbitt, are going to be under the microscope this year as players that I've chosen not to upgrade. And they might still be under the microscope because the goal's been disallowed for offside. Was Nesbitt off? He was off. You know what? It was too good of a start to the season. Football Manager can't let me have that, can it? 31 minutes into this game already. There's really not been too many chances. Just the one disallowed goal. Can we make amends on this occasion? Of course, we're looking for Stephen Gold to score a goal in League One. He's scored in every single league that we've played in since the Northern Premier Division, which, I mean, at this point, is a lot of divisions behind us. I'd love for him to score at every level with his finishing. Also, I would love for us just to win in general, and with tackles like that, we're not gonna win. That was mental by Qantas. Slid in, missed it completely. Young Coombs for us. Well, fortunately for us, rather. Put the effort wide, let us off the hook. And while we've gone back for a swim, but are we just going to swim back into the fishing net and get caught up in the reel? They've let us off the hook. Are we getting back on it? Or are we pulling them into the water off the boat? This metaphor's gone too far, as has this spell of possession for them. Can we win the ball back and get it forward? O'Donnell, the former Celtic man, dinks it down the line to Nesbitt. Stephen Gold is lurking in the middle. Sang loops it in. Butterworth gets there, but it's cleared away. Only as far as Booty, though. Can he now pick out one of our lanky strikers? He can. Stephen Gold is there. The header just over. I mean, the game plan hasn't really changed over the years, has it? Just cross it in the air for Gold and Nesbitt. They're great in the air. Unfortunately, so far in this game, we've not been able to find a breakthrough. They've not been able to find a breakthrough either. And to be honest, a draw would be a really, really good result here. Sang on this far side. Can he get the ball into the box? He can. And then Duffy hits the post. That was a really weird highlight. The flick at the near post from the corner to Duffy from the impossible angle. It's been dealt with. We're coming up to the hour mark. You know what? I think it's time for changes. Joe Duffy off for Riches. Elsewhere, Nesbitt's not played amazing. I'm bringing in Cannonnaire. He's coming back to the club. He left for £130,000. He got 10 goals in League One last season with that AFC Wimbledon. We'll hope that he can get some important goals for us, as we might be called into some defensive action. We will. McDonald got his hand initially on it, and then it was cleared off the line. Oh my word, this is all action. The combined XG is almost at 3. Somehow it is still 0-0. But Charlton in possession here are going to look to bring the ball forward. You would expect with 20 minutes left, they're going to look to, well, push home their advantage in terms of quality. Look to get the ball forward more quickly. They're a team hunting for promotion this year. A draw here for them would be, I guess, viewed as a failure by their fans and the media. So with that in mind, they're going to commit men forward, maybe open up the opportunity for us to catch them out. But while young Coombs is through, goes round McDonald, tucks it away, but the free kick is going to be given because the linesman on this near side, the beautiful man, has his flag raised. Purrington on the far side, down the line to Kirk, in front of the gazebo. Can the fans in the gazebo distract him by screaming stuff at him? I say that. There's no one ever sat at the gazebo. We're missing a trick there. We've sold out the stand. Why aren't we selling out the gazebo seats? As I discussed the gazebo seating arrangement, they have just scored. Maybe I should have my head in the game more. I mean, look, 3 more seats there. I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There's 14 seats there at 20 quid a head. That's another 280 quid. And with our financial issues over the season, that could make a difference. Another thing that can make a difference is probably making some tactical adjustments. We're going to change things up here. I'm going to bring in, I think, with my last change, Fraser actually for Butterworth. We're going to switch Booty and Sang to be on wing-backs on attack. We're going to look to get more direct with our play in terms of, well, throwing it long. I don't really want to go short anymore. Let's just try and get the ball forward quickly. Out possession, we want to press. In possession, hit early crosses, more direct, higher tempo. Let's try and get the ball forward to 2 pacey strikers here. Or pacey forward players, I should say. Gold is not exactly pacey. But Cannonnaire is rapid at this level. 16 acceleration. Should mean no one can catch him. Of course, with us now going more attacking, they could easily catch us out on the break. And they may well just do that. Charlie Kirk for them scores. We've gone chasing the game. And it's backfired. And whilst we held on for a little while against Charlton, they are a better team. They have more money than us. We are a small fish in a big pond. Why is everything coming back to fishing today? No idea. You know what? I just feel sad seeing that going. I felt like we hung in well, but unfortunately this game is going to get away from us. And a Charlton side, well, touted for promotion. They've looked quite good here, haven't they? We've had chances as well. That's the worst thing, actually. The fact we've had chances. Their goalkeeper's made some really big stops for them. We have got the higher XG. I mean, there's 2 minutes left. If Cannonnaire scores on his return, it could have been poetic. He's missed his chance. He's fluffed his lines. If he got one there, maybe you start to believe that we could go on and get another. But unfortunately, with 5 minutes left, time is going to just run down. Charlton win on the first day of the season. I feel sad, if not that surprised, really. Wasn't exactly the ideal start to the season, but we knew it was going to be a tough game against Charlton. I have a feeling that this year isn't going to be as straightforward as the past few years. There's going to be some battling. I do want to go on another FA Cup run as well. I have a bizarre affinity, I feel like, to the FA Cup at this point. With all the cup runs we've gone on previous years, it's now an expectation of mine that we'll go far. As for the board's expectations, second. And if you're wondering about the league expectations, it is just fight bravely against relegation. Yeah, the board are an ambitious lot here at FC United, it turns out. In terms of when we're going to be back next time, not entirely sure yet. I think we'll wait and see what the lie of the land looks like. You know, a month into the year, we'll have an idea of where we're competing, who we're actually doing battle against. Our next couple of games, by the way, not freebies really. We've got Bristol Rovers and then we've got Blackpool at home. Blackpool aside, just relegated from the Championship last year. If you're wondering, by the way, about the Wolverhampton Wanderers situation, they never sacked their manager. They lost in the Conference League final, so it was a bit of a non-starter as a job opportunity. What I will do just to end things today is just show you the kind of wage spends per year of all the different teams, just so you can get an idea of where we're at. We have the third lowest wage spend total, 1.69 million. I promise you, I've not planned for the 69 thing. It's just there. It just happens. It's a recurring number in life, isn't it? As I mentioned at the top of things, if you're excited for the new season, if you enjoyed the video, do drop a like on it. As always, I will see you guys again for more tomorrow. I can't get my words out. I'm so excited for the season ahead, it turns out. It's going to be a tricky year. Let me know what you make of the transfer business. Hopefully, we can just have a steady as she goes season. That would be nice, wouldn't it? No drama, no excitement, maybe a little bit of drama and excitement. Otherwise, it'd be rubbish for YouTube. But you know what I mean. No frills, no spills. We'll just chill for the year. Football Manager never works like that, does it? I can't seem to find a way to end today's episode, so I'm just going to hit the stop record button. I'll see you guys tomorrow for more. Take care. I'll see you next time. It is me, Jack. And yeah, I'll talk to you all in a bit.